Good. Thanks very much, everybody, for joining us. Andrew, I presume you can hear me loud and clear.
Can hear you well and see your slides, Mark. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks. Okay, this is just a few closing remarks and also an opportunity to announce the winners of some of the competitions today. And thanks to all of you for attending. This is our third virtual bird fair. This year is a bit different because we had a hybrid event. So there was also an in-person event at Istelhouse, our head office in Johannesburg. And I think we've grown so much in our use of the technology. It's really worked so well. And I think we have a very clever team that kind of make this all possible, including with the support of Participate. So thanks to everybody who's managed to put this together for us. And of course, these events don't happen on their own. There's a big team that have been involved in the organization. We've had an organizing committee that's initially met monthly and then fortnightly, and then for the last couple of months has been meeting weekly. And that's the name of the organizing committee members there on your screen. Some people had a larger role to play, but I'd rather not single out any of those people. So well done to all of you. These things are a team effort, and I think the team cumulatively, collaboratively can make an event like this possible. So well done to all of you. And other BirdLife South Africa staff were also involved, and we had all of our Gauteng-based staff, or most of our Gauteng-based staff at Istelhouse today. And then thanks very much to David Wilson and his team at Participate for helping us with the platform and this wonderful platform that makes this event possible. We had a whole lot of speakers during the bird fair, but there's a few that need to be mentioned, Jonathan and Deo in particular. And we'd like to thank them for their presentations. Those were the two paid-for presentations, and the money we raised from those paid-for presentations goes to BirdLife South Africa's important work. We had 3 workshops. Eldo, Lance, and Melissa presented those, and gather that they were very well received. And Melissa, I'm not sure if you're with us now, but there were some compliments posted in the chat box during the quiz about how much people enjoyed your workshop, and I'm sure Lance's and Eldo's were as enjoyable. And also like to just thank David Frost, Jenny Cruz-Williams, and Sandiswa Kula for their involvement. And maybe just to mention Sandiswa, she came up from the Eastern Cape. She joined us for the bird fair. She's a bit of a hit on social media, as many of you know. She's a very, very knowledgeable and keen bird watcher, but also a very good photographer. And people really love the stories she tells about life in a village in rural Eastern Cape, and particularly, the stories about her gogo, her grandmother, and the chickens and the other livestock that they look after. Natasha's helped with the virtual hosting, and really importantly, we need money to make these events happen, and also to raise some funding for BirdLife South Africa's work. And we've had a number of sponsors, exhibitors, and auction item donors. And thanks very much to the people that have provided the support that brings in the income that can help us host an event like this and also raise money for BirdLife South Africa. We really appreciated this year the collaboration with Wild Earth, and it was a great success. I tuned in really early this morning while drinking my coffee. And it was so nice to see David and Paul and Wesley on the vehicles pointing out the birds that they saw. So we were joined by vehicles driving around the Lowveld and Eastern Cape, so a diversity of birds could be seen. And importantly, it's nice to have so many participants join us from not only South Africa, elsewhere in Africa, but also all over the world. So yeah, great team effort. I'm always impressed by the commitment of BirdLife South Africa staff. Everybody sort of climbs in, pitches in, and works hard to make these events a success. It's just great to have such a wonderful team. Also really impressed with the technical skills of our staff as well. Some really bright people working for BirdLife South Africa. They do things that I didn't even know were impossible. So well done to all of you. And then just to mention our sponsors again, headline sponsor, Swarovski Optic, Andrew Weissel and Bell Forbes and others at Swarovski and Weiler Distributors. We're really grateful for the support you provide. And there's platinum, gold, and silver sponsors. Probably not good to highlight any specific company, but I have to just say we really appreciate the support we get from Zeiss as well. Zeiss provides the binoculars that our conservation staff use. We have loan binoculars from Zeiss. So we had a large number of sponsors this year. Well done to Tanya Caldwell for recruiting these sponsors and making the bird fair possible. And then a large number of items were donated for our online auction, and there's a list of those sponsors, those donors, and well done to Claire Neal, our events manager, shop manageress, for securing those donations. And I've been following the auction with keen interest today to see that there was some fun bidding, and particularly on items like the wine and some of the books. And I think we're going to raise a nice sum of money through the auction. And David, the auction platform is fantastic. We've improved on it every year, and this year I think was absolutely brilliant. I think we've got it absolutely taped. And a couple of pictures of the event. This is on the left, David Letsalo and Paul, his colleague. Back right, Paul, and they were on a vehicle in the Lowveld. It's on the left is a cameraman with his thumbs up. These are David and Paul are really skilled bird guides, and I was quite impressed to see and hear the birds that they pointed out during that drive. And they actually came across a couple of bird parties and were able to point out, half a dozen birds in some of those feeding parties, which is very nice. There were also some fireside chats, and there's David and Paul in the picture there in the Lowveld. Must have been a relatively warm evening looking at the gear that they were wearing. And this year we had some of our discussions and interviews from Esdell House. We converted the open plan office and the conservation wing into a little bit of a studio. All the equipment on the left was loaned to us by Canon. And well done to Andrew, Andy, and Melissa for mastering the use of all of this equipment. Very impressive what you were able to do. And the picture on the right is Jenny Cruis-Williams and myself interviewing Jonathan Franzen. You can see Jonathan on the laptop screen in the left of this image on the right. And Jonathan is not only a world-famous novelist, but also a very keen birder. And it was a lot of fun interviewing him last night live. He's based in Santa Cruz in California. That was done live from the studio, the makeshift studio at Esdell House in Johannesburg. And of course, this is Esdell House, our head office in Johannesburg, and we're very proud of this office. And it was turned into a fair precinct today. And just a few images there, you can see all the BirdLife gazebos, but they were also in the foreground, you can see a Canon gazebo. Down a bit further down, there's the Leica gazebo. Zeiss, Swarovski, Elaine's Birding, and others were there. And it was a fun event. It was nice to see people coming through the grounds, the office grounds, through the day. And we've done really well with sales in the bookshop. I know that I spoke to the folks from the optics companies, and they were very pleased with the interest in their products as well. So great that we can provide this opportunity for all the optics companies who are incredibly supportive of our organization, including through their adverts in African BirdLife magazine. And the quiz was great fun yet again. That's David Wilson in the middle there, bottom. He's really a good-looking fellow, as you can see. He looked very young for his age. And there's Andrew smiling, laughing at David, I think. So there were some really interesting questions, 30 questions, and Steve and Annalie from Durban won the quiz this evening. So I think the quiz is an absolute hit. I know Andrew has got a huge amount on his plate, not only in organizing the bird fair, but all the work he does. And yeah, this is probably done a little bit last minute, but it is absolutely fantastic, David and Andrew. And as long as we have a virtual bird fair, I think we'll continue to have a quiz. Okay, just a couple of words about our birds. I'm often asked if there's a future for South Africa's and Africa's birds. Are we going to see them around in future generations to come? Will they be able to enjoy our birds? I do believe so. We're working very hard to ensure that birds will be around in future. And so are the BirdLife partners in Africa and other organizations that we collaborate with. And the really interesting thing is that in historical times, no bird species has gone extinct on the African mainland. We've lost birds on the Indian Ocean islands, but in the African mainland, no bird species has gone extinct. And this is a real tribute to the BirdLife partners and other organizations that are involved in conservation in Africa. Quite a few species are now critically endangered, and some of them kind of very close to that extinction precipice. And this is the challenge that we and other organizations have to ensure that birds will be around in future. Of course, you can help. It's not just BirdLife South Africa and the organizations we collaborate with that are responsible for bird conservation, but everybody can chip in many ways. And I'm often asked this as well, how can I help? Don't have, spare cash to support the conservation work, there's simple things you can do. One of them is just tell people about birds. Take your neighbor, your nephew, your grandchild bird watching. You can learn about Bird of the Year every year. Look at the poster that we distribute in African BirdLife magazine. Read the articles about the Bird of the Year in each issue of the magazine. Go to our website and look at the lesson plans that we develop and learn about Bird of the Year. Wear the pin badge, perhaps buy the T-shirt. And when you're in the queue at Woolworths, don't face the person's back in front of you. Turn around, point to your pin badge, and ask whether they'd like to discuss anything. And you could share some facts about Bird of the Year. Okay, that's probably asking a bit much, but there's many ways in which you can assist and contribute to the conservation of our countries and our continent's birds. And it's only through collaborations that we are going to be successful. And we have an onerous responsibility, a big task ahead, but I do believe we can be successful. BirdLife South Africa is a positive organization, an optimistic organization, and we're going to certainly do our best to ensure that future generations can enjoy birds as we do today. If you're not a member of BirdLife South Africa, please become one. Your membership fee, which we keep very small, some of it, a very small proportion of it, goes towards our bird conservation work. You can always add a donation on top of your membership fee. But importantly, one of the benefits of your membership is that you get 6 issues per year of African BirdLife magazine, which many regard as the world's best bird and birding magazine. And very well done to our editor, Eve Gracie, our designer, Bryony van Wyk, and our advertising team, Tonya Caldwell and Samantha Morgan, for all they do to ensure that this magazine is such a success and produced on time. And most of it, almost all of it, is original content. The current issue is the one with the secretary bird on the cover. It's been available in retail for a couple of weeks. It's been sent to our members and our subscribers. We know there's some issues with distribution, and we're working on resolving that. But this is a visually spectacular issue. There's incredible pictures, photographs in this issue, and Jody DeBrain's portfolio of photographs. He's such a talented photographer. I don't know if Jody's tuned in, but just look out for Jody's pictures on social media and buy the magazine and look at his incredible photographs. He is I believe, one of our country's most talented photographers. He's based up in Polokwane. We also have a raffle, as we do every year. The first prize this year is 100,000 Rand, and the tickets are 500 Rand each. Only 1,000 tickets. They're going very fast. We still have a few remaining. Please go and support the raffle. Buy a ticket or a few tickets. The income that we raise through this raffle also helps our organization and its work. And this is probably not the most up-to-date logo for our flock to the Mozambique channel. We're still finalizing the logo. But after the very successful flock to Marion in January this year, we'll be going up the Mozambique channel towards the end of next year. The date will be announced in due course. And we are going to be using the MSC Orchestra and Durban to Durban, 5-night voyage. We'll be able to see really good birds. Peter Ryan's just been up the channel and he found some really great birds. And have a look at the latest issue of African BirdLife magazine. You'll see the fantastic photographs he took of blue-footed boobies catching flying fish in front of the ship. I think there'll be opportunities to do that during this voyage. So look out for the dates. I reckon we will fill the ship. Unlike the Flock to Marion voyage, we won't be wearing beanies and scarves and heavy jackets. We'll probably be in shorts and T-shirts. It's going to be fun and lazing, jumping in and out the pool to keep cool. So it's going to be a fantastic trip. We will have lecturers speaking on different topics, talking about conservation in the tropics, particularly the Madagascan work that's being done, some of the Indian Ocean Island work that's being done, and we hope to have some. We will definitely have of some of the world's top seabirders join us once again. We have a lot of conservation projects, and you can go to our website and read about those conservation projects. There's a lot of detail on the website. We do both species conservation projects and habitat and site conservation projects, and we're also involved in projects that work with communities, work with community bird guides and school groups. Go and read about those projects, and if you want more information, you can see the links on the website to contact the relevant staff member, or you can just email info@birdlife.org.za, and we'd be happy to tell you more about those projects. Also, if you're interested in supporting them, we can tell you about ways in which you can support those projects. Okay, and lastly, just a couple of things just to announce the prize winners. We had a colouring in competition this year. And, thank you very much, Claire, for organising this, and Fancy for your assistance. So there's 2 prize winners. Georgia from Sabi in the age group 7 to 10 won the prize in that category. And then Luke won the prize in the 11 to 13-year-old category. And they'll win a copy of Fancy's book. And Claire will be in contact with both Georgia and Luke in the next week or so, and find out how we can get those copies of Fancy's book to you. Okay, there's also a bird search game, and the winner of that is Alma Swat. So well done, Alma, for winning the bird search game. You win a 250 Rand voucher for our Shop for the Birds, which is our little shop at Isdelhouse in Johannesburg. And Claire will be in contact as well about the voucher and find a way to get it to you. Of course, we also have an online shop, so you don't have to actually pop into the shop itself at Isdelhouse. You can also go to our website and visit the online shop and make your purchases through our online platform. And then we had a little membership recruitment drive yesterday and today, offering a discount, 20% discount on membership. And we got quite a few people joined BirdLife South Africa today and yesterday. We'd like to thank you for joining BirdLife South Africa. And Saki Kutsia has won the prize in this membership competition. And you can see the list there on the right of all of the items that Saki is going to receive, part of his birding starter pack. So well done, Saki. And thanks to everybody who joined BirdLife South Africa today. And I'd like to encourage those who aren't members to consider joining BirdLife South Africa. You can email Shireen at membership@birdlife.org.za, or even just the info address, and Kathleen will ensure that your email is forwarded to her. So that is the end of this year's Bird Fair. And I think some of the people involved, some of our staff, I think Andrew, Andy, Claire, and a few others breathed a sigh of relief. Andy in particular has done a few all-nighters. I think he's going to sleep well tonight, and I hope he sleeps in tomorrow. But it is a team effort. Lots of people have contributed. And sponsors need to be thanked again for their contributions. It was absolutely fantastic yet again. We will get together as an organizing committee in the next week or 10 days and do a bit of a debriefing, as we always do after an event, and discuss ways in which we can improve and do better next year. So thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the evening and see you next year.